July 1st. Sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night, I still wonder if I'll open my eyes and find Mong's crazy ass standing over me again. This time with a machete or a rifle, a damn Chinese throwing star, but it never happens. During the day, we don't say a word or even look at each other. He just does his thing and I do mine. Even when we gotta do a chore together, we just get it over with and then don't bother with each other. Like yesterday. I swept the kitchen floor, made a pile, and Mong set down the dustpan. He pushed the pile in and emptied it in the trash. Then he took the broom from me, put the stuff away, and we went our separate ways. I'm not gonna lie, the whole time I was waiting for his crazy ass to make a move on me, and I was planning what I'd do back with the broom or my Nate, but nothing ever happened. Dude was all business. We're take the house meeting this morning when Jaden told us about the new system that's going to start this month, how the rules are going to be a little tighter and most people's sentences will now go the full length instead of how they usually get cut mad short because they need space and don't have enough funding. Jaden told us he'd know the exact details in a couple weeks when some deal went through. We all rolled our eyes and complained because that's the one thing everybody had to look forward to, getting out early for good behavior. Everybody started getting all loud, except Mong. He was just sitting there across from me, all calm like he didn't even care. But I have some good news too, bros, Jaden broke in. Our house was picked to go on a special day trip to Alcatraz next Saturday. They're even funding a nice little dinner for us in a 3-star restaurant in SF. We're going to be doing some fine dining, bros, cloth napkins and the whole thing. A couple guys nodded their heads in approval, but most of us didn't seem blown away, especially after we just heard the news about our sentences. Point is, if you sat there and watched how me and Mom were around each other, you'd think nothing ever happened. No spit, no haymakers, no standing over the bed. You'd think we were just two regular group home kids living out our sentences, which is weird if you think about it. Where I'm from, people don't just forget about the scraps they have until somebody wins and somebody loses, unless it's with family like me and Diego. But maybe that's how it is in a group home. I don't even know yet. Mong. What I've learned the past couple weeks is that Mong stays pretty much to himself as I do. He eats solo, never really talks to anybody except Lester, which I've only seen 2 or 3 times. Some days he even just stays in the living room after wake-up call all day. Even when it's time to eat, he just sits there staring at the TV, not even moving his position or flipping through the channels, and Jaden doesn't say anything to him either, just leaves him alone, and so does everybody else. Nobody asks any questions. Lately, I've been trying to figure out why it's so different from Mom. What, are people scared? Is it because they think he's a psycho and they don't want to set Jude off? Even the counselors? Because that seems pretty messed up, right? You shouldn't get no special treatment just because you're a psycho. Lester still picks him up every other day, too. He'll let himself in, wait till all us residents and Jaden, and then Mong will get up without a word and walk out the front door with Les. At first I thought maybe they were going to an unusual psychologist, one specializing in the emotionally disturbed or something. But now I'm not so sure. For one thing, if you go to a psychologist, aren't you supposed to come back feeling better about yourself? Because when Mong comes back, he usually seems even more depressed or pissed off than when he left. Like this one time when he totally snapped on Reggie. Jaden was in his office with Tommy when Lester dropped Mong off, and when Reggie asked him a simple question, if he was still going to help out with dinner or not, Mong just totally flipped. He threw down his bag and leaped at Reggie, got him in some crazy sleeper hold and put him to the kitchen floor, and kept saying the same thing over and over. I could kill you. I could just kill you right now. Do you even understand that? We all just stood there watching. It was so weird seeing some skinny-ass Chinese kid on top of this big, muscular black kid, but Reggie didn't fight back at all. He just stayed quiet and laid there, stared straight ahead. Even when Mong finally let him go and stood up, grabbed his back. All Reggie did was slowly reach for his own neck where Mong was choking him, and then he stood up carefully and went back to cooking dinner. He never even looked at Mong. The rest of us went back to what we were doing too. I gotta say, man, there's something freakish about Mong. I can't put my finger on it, but I've been watching him lately. And it's more than just fights he gets in or nasty scars on his cheeks. There's something else, like how depressed he seems and the way he keeps to himself, even worse than me. And people walk on eggshells when he's around. Tommy just looks at the ground. Reggie and DeMarcus don't have any jokes. Even Jaden acts different.